Right, we are back. Episode something of plotting. The show where we go over movies that I have never seen based purely on the title. Then we dive into what it's actually about. Find out how much better I am at coming up with titles than the people who get paid presumably a lot of money. I don't know how much they get paid, but some amount of money to come up with these things in real life. And we figure out how much better I am at that. Um, I noticed that you have a Christmas tree up now. Finally, you are up. You are ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
You're ready for the season.
I
Um,
am.
and so you got something for us
I
today.
do.
So what are we going with? What do we have today?
We're doing another Netflix top 10,
Okay.
which this one is new from this week. It is actually number 3 on Netflix top 10. It is a 2020 movie.
Okay.
So, sorry. That's the background that you get, and the title is Ava.
Okay.
There's been a lot of these.
Oh my goodness. All right.
The last
So
time, a little, the last
mm,
time,
this was tricky for me last time. This was real tricky.
yeah,
Uh,
you crashed and
that's,
burned is what I was gonna say, and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
I didn't want you to feel defeated before you went, so I paused, and I was trying to find a positive way, but there really was no positive way for how
Mm-mm,
badly you failed on Peppermint.
mm-mm.
So,
Well, I was so close. I was there. I had it. I went against my gut instincts. It was a bad showing. It was poor showing. Poor showing
it
all the
was
way
a lesson
around.
to learn. Never go against your gut instincts.
Um, Ava, I'm going to assume that it's not the same as Peppermint and Domino. That might be a wrong assumption, but I'm going to go with my gut here. I'm going to say it's not. It's not the same. Um, I literally have no idea what this would be about, right? Like I have less idea than Peppermint. Like at least with Peppermint, there was uh, like a theoretical sort of genre or something that you could go
Yeah.
with, right? This one, I had no idea. Like this could be like a Disney type movie, where it's like an animated like princess or something like that. Um, this could be literally anything, right? Like I have no idea
Absolutely. It,
what
it could
Ava
be anything.
is. It's 2020. That this is I'm gonna say this is a 2020 version of Stella Got Her Groove Back. Um, Unfortunately, I don't actually know what Stella Got Her Groove Back is about, other than a
I was gonna
woman
ask, can you
named
summarize
Stella.
that for us? Because, like, I don't know if the
Um,
audience, I mean,
I literally have no idea. I know it's about a woman named Stella. I think it's about her dating a dude that she doesn't want to date. Like she's like giving him a hard time or something, and then she ultimately like falls in love with him, and it's a whole thing because he's like a player or something like that. I think that's what it's about. Very possible that that's 100% incorrect. I honestly have no idea. All I know is that I've seen or I've heard that title for like 25 years now, and so but
yeah,
I have
that is
no.
a
Is it 97?
1998
Ah,
film. Yeah,
close.
you
I
were
was
so
close.
close.
I was close. Okay.
With Taye Diggs,
Yeah,
Angela
Tay Diggs.
Bassett,
Tay
Whoopi
Angela. Yep.
Goldberg.
100%. 100%.
Let's see. The plot is,
Oh, it doesn't matter. It has Tay Diggs. Tay Diggs is a handsome guy.
yeah,
Um, he is. I'm pretty sure he's like, he's kind of a dick at the beginning, and then he turns into a big softy at the end, and that whole thing, which is totally fine. I'm gonna say Ava is the 2020 version of that. That's what I think. That's what I think Ava is. That's what I think's happening.
okay. So the movie you described or what Stella's about? Because I just read the plot for Stella Got a Groove Back.
Hmm. And you're saying it's a different plot than what I described.
Yeah, I think that what you said wouldn't be what I would like. The plot line of Stella probably
Hmm.
isn't. So your focus was more. Can
Hmm.
you repeat it? Because now
I
I'm
don't even remember what I
confused.
said. I literally don't even remember what I said.
So yeah, we got a problem here. It's
I
the
have no
first
idea. I
time.
don't know.
This is the first
I
time
don't know.
you've. Yeah. Maybe we should go off of more of what Stella Got a Groove Back is then. I mean, am I helping you today? I don't know.
No, you're
Like,
literally not helping me at all. Like, I don't think. I mean, based on what you're saying, it
I
sounds like
think
it's
that
not at
I'm
all based on anything
doing
related to what Stella got her group back. So I'm going to say it's neither one of them. That was my initial guess, but I'm going to guess based on what you're saying, I'm going to say it's neither one of them. It's neither one.
Okay, so you're cheating. Are you coming up with a new
No,
one
I have no
now?
idea. I literally have no idea. I have no clue what this movie's about. I have no idea. Like
Okay.
this is
Okay.
maybe the least helpful title. This is a less helpful title than Peppermint. Like this is I
It
have no
truly
idea what
is.
this is. I have no clue.
Okay. Netflix has are you ready for the plot?
Mm-hmm.
An elite assassin wrestling with doubts about her work
Get the
scrambles to
fuck
protect
out of
herself and her estranged family after a hit goes dangerously wrong.
It's literally the same movie. It's literally, what you're telling me is literally the same movie. So this movie's now been made 3 times, is what you're telling me. So Domino, and then Peppermint.
Well, no,
and
I
then Ava.
mean,
What? She's a lead
Peppermint
assassin.
was.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
She's a
but
lead assassin. Some bad stuff happens. She starts killing everybody. I'm assuming it's about a woman named Ava. I'm guessing that's accurate.
yeah.
Okay. So you're saying that this movie has been made 3 times? Like this movie's literally been made
No, this
three
one's
separate
like
times.
different. The
It
only
doesn't sound
thing in
different.
common is that women are killing. Like Peppermint was about a mom that was seeking vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
This is about a black ops assassin that specialized in like high profile hits. So her whole career is being an assassin. This is like her personality. It's more about her bending the rules around killing, whereas Peppermint was just kind of like her avenging her family. That's a completely different plot line.
So what does this lady do? I don't understand what this lady does. She's just like an assassin. Like, all right. So what's the problem? What's her problem? What's the problem with Ava? Like, what does she have to overcome?
Okay. There is a more lengthy plot on IMDb. So, lethally beautiful and incredibly efficient in her dangerous line of work, Ava, a lone wolf and cold-blooded assassin, is starting to develop a conscience.
Okay.
Having beaten her alcohol and substance dependence with the help of Duke, her grisly mentor of death and father figure, more and more unstable Ava lets guilt get in the way of closing her deals, attracting unwanted attention by breaking protocol. As a result, after a botched attempt to liquidate a high-profile target, Ava reunites with her estranged family after 8 years of absence, unaware that she has just signed her death warrant. Now, as Ava tries to settle old scores and reconnect with her loved ones, every killer in the business is after her. Can Ava rely on Duke to have her back? You know what this sounds more like than Peppermint?
So, I mean, this is literally just like one half of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I mean, that's.
Oh, I was thinking of like John Wick a little bit.
No, this isn't. No, this is nothing like John Wick. No, I think that's probably what they were trying to go for, right? But John Wick was like, he was out and then they brought him back in, right? Like that was the whole thing. Like he was out, they brought him back in. John Wick is very much like a Peppermint situation, except he was an assassin before and she was like out baking cookies or whatever she was doing before. Because I mean, all they said, right? She's a mom, so like it didn't sound like she was a professional of any sort. So,
Peppermint, yeah.
Like that's more John Wick, right? Like that's more John Wick. This is like they're growing a conscience, they want to get out, right? That's kind of like that. That's what happens to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, right? Like we see them, they obviously, you know, they have each other. It's the crosshairs, whatever. They find out it's each other, and then they're like, actually, we want to team up. We don't want to be together, and then the CIA comes after them, right? Or whoever comes after them. And so that's
I've not seen that one. Yeah.
This is very much like this is basically one half of that, right? Who's the woman that plays who plays
the
Ava?
woman is I just forgot her name. Jessica Chastain.
Jessica Chastain. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's not a bad choice.
I think if to refresh on our discussion about the casting of Peppermint and Jennifer Garner not being a viable, I think she.
Oh, you buried the lead. I mean, they threw a ton of money at this movie, like just an incredible amount of money at this movie, or at least I assume so. I mean, we got John Malkovich. Like anything he's in is going to be awesome. So he's the old grizzly villain. Fantastic there. Common, who plays Michael. Yep. I don't know what Michael does, but Common is an underrated actor, right? Like that dude is in stuff. He is great in movies like this. He was great in John Wick 2. He was really good in that. He was pretty good in Smoking Aces actually. So it was good. So Gina Davis is in this. Man, I haven't seen her in a minute. But Colin Farrell is in this. I mean, a couple of the people that like I recognize. They're not as big. Names aren't as big, but I recognize them. They threw some real money at this. So first of all, I'm going to say just from a purely appearance standpoint. Now, I've never seen her do action, so I don't actually know. I don't know what she looks like. I don't know sort of how fluid she's moving and all that stuff. But I will say that from just a standing there and looking like she might be an assassin, right? And in this case, like a femme fatale, right? Like a legitimate, like good-looking woman who's going to do some stuff. I would say that Jessica Chastain is a really good casting for that. I think that's a fantastic casting choice. Just purely from appearance, right? Because like that's part of the thing, right? If you're gonna be an assassin, right? Like if you're actually gonna be an assassin, you can't be an objective 10. Like you just can't be an objective 10, right? You just can't. Like if you're one of the most beautiful people in the world, which obviously she is, like I get that, but if you're like actually one of like the 10 most beautiful people in the world, like you just can't be an assassin. It just doesn't work that way. I just won't believe you as that, right? Now, Jessica Chastain is a good looking woman, but she looks kind of severe, right? And so like when she stands there and she's just like, boom, she's just like, she just cuts her face, her features cut, like all that stuff. She just looks extremely severe. Like she got a little screw loose, right? Again, we're talking about somebody who would murder you. You know what I mean? Like you have to believe that this person would be able to murder another human being. That takes a different level of something. And so her kind of doing this, you know, like I could definitely see it. So I think that's a great choice. John Malkovich, dude knocks it out of the park, right? Every single time. There's not a role in John Malkovich where you're like, you know what? Wish John Malkovich would have been better in that role. You know, he's awesome in everything he does. So having those two as like the two people, I think that's fantastic. Not sure that I'm really about this plot line though. Like the plot line, you're kind of losing me on the plot line, right? Like she's getting a conscience, and so she's not finishing her deals or whatever she's doing. So basically she's not killing people anymore. And then ultimately now she's going to go live with her family, and the people are then going to come attack her, basically, right? Like that's, I mean, in theory, that's sort of what it sounds
like simplified. I'm sure there's probably more nuance, but that's essentially what it is, it sounds like.
It's fucking banana sandwich that you would go back to your family after you have failed to kill someone. I mean, think about that, right? Like you go up and you're like, hey, you know what? Let me take out Saddam Hussein, right? And then you go and you fucking take a swing at the king and you miss. Right? Whether it was on purpose or you froze or what, it doesn't matter. You missed, right? So you took a swing and you missed. He saw you miss, right? Like if she's femme fatale, she's not killing him. This is not a sniper, right? This isn't Shooter. This isn't Mark Wahlberg a Shooter where he's shooting from a mile away. That's not what this is. Femme fatale is up close and personal, right? This is legit. Like I'm going to stick something in your throat, right? So you got that close to Saddam Hussein or whoever it was. He saw you. This is 2020. Like this is not some like historical picture, right? And so this is 2020, and so she's going in places with these guys. There's fucking cameras everywhere, right? Like Mexican drug cartels have cameras all over their like tunnels and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this lady is just walking into the king's lair. She takes a swing, she misses, and then she goes, "Hey, you know what? Let me just roll back and hang out with my family." Like that's not how it works. This is not how it works. That is insane. That you would go back to your family knowing that this person is still alive. You were contract hired to murder someone, and you did not murder them. And then you're like, hey, you know what? Not such a big deal. Let me go see what mom and dad are doing. You know, you're a terrible person. Like that is, for someone who is trained, she's this elite trained assassin, whatever, zero awareness of how the world works. Like zero awareness. I am not on board with that at all. Where's fucking John Malkovich with that? Like, where's John Malkovich going, hey, guess what? You gave up your family a long time ago. Like your family doesn't exist anymore because you're just leaving bodies alive. You no longer get to hang out with your family anymore. So that's where I'm struggling, right? I think they did a great job with the casting. I think she's a great choice. Like visually, I think I can see it, right? Because again, that's half the battle on this. You know what I mean? Like that's half the battle. I have to watch that and say, like, I can see this person killing someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not everybody can pull that off. You know, like I mean, literally not everybody can pull that off. They really fell apart, like with just a real key detail of what she's doing. Right? She's going to go back to her family after she's left people alive. She botches a job. It goes wrong. It goes dangerously wrong. And then she goes back with her family. If she was just like, hey, I'm going to go fight for my own survival, right, which is what it says here, like in the shorter version of it, like so she's just going to go fight for her own survival.
Yeah.
Totally different. You know what I mean? Now she's man on the lam, and she's out there, she's running alone, she's doing all that stuff. Now I'm interested. You know what I mean? Like now I'm like, all right, like she's out there, who's, you know, she's gonna have some like quirky friend. She got to go see Malkovich and see him doing something, and she's gonna go have to find somebody else who does, you know, whatever. Like I'm interested in that. But if she's rolling up and she's like, hey, what's up? Let me watch my niece play some soccer real quick. No, you're a terrible aunt. You're making bad decisions. Maybe had one too many concussions from this hand-to-hand combat situation. I'm not on board with that. I do not support that part. And so I don't think I feel good about this movie, honestly. Like I get it, it's number 3. I understand. You know why it's number 3? 100%. Like you see the picture of her and like,
yeah,
she got a little cut on her cheek. Like she looks like somebody who is going to do some interesting stuff. You know, like I'll see it and I'm like, yep, I can spend 96 minutes with her. I'm in.
Yeah.
Until I read what actually happens.
What I'm attracted to, which I think that you'll probably be like, I don't care at all, is the idea of an assassin kind of getting a conscience. Like what, that's always been a far-fetched idea for me that like it would never get to you. I know, but like I don't care. That's
like, what happened in John Wick. That's literally what happened in John Wick.
I understand.
I mean, like they're just copying that idea. You know what I mean?
I like to see that every time.
But they're literally copying that idea.
Bad movies.
No, but you understand, like the entire show Burn Notice was literally based on that premise, right? Like
yes, and I loved Burn Notice.
Right, but like this is not an interesting idea, but I think people would think this is like a novel idea. You know what I mean? Like they think like, oh, okay, like it's a novel idea. It's not a novel idea.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
A novel idea.
I get what you're saying.
Something that I like, and that's not necessarily a reason why you would watch the movie. Whereas like I would be like, I like watching that.
No, I get that. If you're attracted to this movie because you like that, that's okay. If you're attracted to this movie because you think that's novel, you're wrong. You're flat out wrong if you think that it's a novel idea, because it's not a novel idea. I mean, they've had hit movies, bad movies, all this stuff. This has been done before. People have gotten consciences. Like that's the basis of a lot of stuff that's happened. I can see that being interesting, but again, I'm not. But that that actually makes me not want to watch it even more now that I know more of the story. Because if you grow a fucking conscience, you don't go hang out with your fucking family while there's a goddamn ludicrous, insane person coming after
that. And you brought that up. And
that's my whole problem with this, right? Like she's supposed to be this smart.
Like I hope they're selling like a mental break. Honestly, yes.
Even that, like no. If you're elite, you're not supposed to have a mental break. No, I don't want to watch my person have a mental break because that means that they're not elite, right? Like you're not elite. Like elite, I'm talking like elite level, because obviously this movie is based on like a ridiculous premise, right? So if you're that elite, you know, like this isn't like a realistic elite version of something, you know, where it's like, oh, PTSD and shit like that. No, that's not what this is. This is like, you're John Wick. You know what I mean? Like, you're John Wick. And so there is no mental break. It doesn't happen. You're too mentally strong for that. And that's how they're portraying her, right? So she's too mentally strong. She's growing a conscience. And then she's like, hey, you know what? It's all right if I put my family in danger. They don't mean shit to me. You know, and I'm like, I'm not really with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not really with that. Unless I will take all this back. I will give it 7 thumbs up if at some point she says, I hated my family anyways. And they throw that twist in there, and I'm like, oh, I get it. She wants her family to get murdered, but she doesn't want to be the one that does it. She don't want to pull the trigger on that because she's got a conscience, but she hates them. Now I'm in. That's an interesting character. Now I'm in.
I think I would hate that movie.
Why? That's way more interesting. Now I'm getting somebody who's growing a conscience but hates their family. That's more interesting. That's a more interesting conflicted character.
You're 100% right, but it would break my little heart.
Like I said, I still can't believe that they made this movie like for the 4th time. Like that's literally baffling to me that they've made it for the 4th time. It's baffling. I get why it's number 3. I'm giving this movie. I'm gonna go neutral on this movie. I'm not giving it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I'm giving it a very neutral. I'm giving it.
Would you go see it?
Yes, I think I would see it. I'm going to reserve my judgment until I see it. But I have a feeling that it's going to lean thumbs down because I don't think I'm going to be able to get over the hump on that particular piece of information, which is she grows a conscience, but she puts her family in harm's way. That doesn't make any
Okay.
sense at all. That makes no sense whatsoever, especially for somebody who's supposed to be elite, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you give it? I assume you're giving it 2 thumbs up. It seems like you're a 2 thumbs type of person for
Yeah.
this role.
I mean, I think I would go with like I think I don't know if I really, for me, I don't think that there are any complaints. Like, yeah, it looks like a good movie for what I would expect for, like the casting looks like it's all people that I like.
This is exactly
what
why
I
people should
expect
listen
from
to
a
you. You're not a
movie.
discerning. You don't have a discerning palate when it
No.
comes to these movies. This is why people shouldn't listen to you. That's why they should listen to me,
I
because I take these things very seriously. I go in depth about why most of this stuff sucks. You just got to think one more step. Like, it's not that difficult. And this is why they should listen to you. I'm a more considered movie experience giver. I actually help people get good movies and not waste their time on dribble like this.
But you're still going to see this, and then we're going to talk about it.
I
want to see your reaction.
It's very likely.
I'm just, yeah.
It's also very possible I turn it off halfway through.
You're part of the problem.
It's very possible I turn it off halfway through. Like, I'm done. I'm out halfway through. I can't see the rest of it. It's very possible. I don't know. I want to be optimistic on it.
Yeah, I would say this is probably your most optimistic review so far.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, everybody just like, and look, I like bad movies. You know what I mean? But like, there's some things I can't get over. Like, you either have to be so ridiculous that I just can't, like, whatever. Like, again, like in John Wick, they're like, oh, well, he was this assassin, whatever, and then his dog gets killed, and then he just fucking murders every human being in the world. Like, that's so far-fetched that I'm like, okay, I'm in. Like, and now you sold me, or you got to be, like, realistic, but you can't be in the middle. You can't, like, try to give me a little realism and then have, something on the other side, because because the whole time I'd be thinking, like, well, I don't understand. Like, why didn't you do this? Like, why did you make this stupid choice? And like, again,
why are you trying to kill your entire family without explanation?
This is my thing, right? Like, you watch like the Ocean's movies, right? Like, watch the Ocean's movies and see those dudes, and yeah, it's all ridiculous and yada yada, all that stuff. But you watch them and you're like, you know what? Like, this is a smart plan. Like, this makes sense. Like, these guys are cool, calm, under pressure all the time. They're always doing stuff. Even, they do the thing where it's like, oh, well, they made the wrong decision. Oh, actually, it was the right decision, But they all, because they're the smartest guys in the room. That's the point. They're always the smartest people.
Yeah.
Right? And if that's what you're going to sell me on this woman, then I need her to make smart decisions all the time, I mean, seriously, like in Ocean's 11, right? Like, Danny is going back after his wife, and he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to call my shot. I'm going to do all those things. He put her in harm's way for a reason, right? He pissed her off for a reason. He did all of those things because he knew that Andy Garcia was ultimately going to blow it with her at the end, right? So he had a plan the whole time. This lady, there's no way you have a plan of like, oh, I'm going to just let like, Kim Jong-un or whatever, like, come over and murder my family. Like, that's not a plan, like, that's not a plan. Like, you wouldn't put them in bait. You wouldn't use them as bait for that. That's just a bad plan. So if you're going to sell me on that, you got to sell me all the way. That's my problem with it,
Yeah.
That's my problem. But I will say she looks good in that role, like just visually, like she looks like somebody who could be a murderer, and that is exactly what you need in that role. So I would say I would give it a thumbs up on that for sure. And that is interesting enough that I'll watch it.
I can't wait to see what you say.
All right, I think we did it. That was Ava, breaking down Ava. Jesus Christ, I can't believe that we got another one. But whatever. All right, so they did Ava. So we got that in the can here. So appreciate everybody watching. You can email us. What's the email? The email is
info.plotting@gmail.com.
All right, so you can email us there if you got ideas, comments, whatever. You comment on the video, all that stuff. Whatever you got to do. Appreciate everybody watching. We will see you next time.